Good afternoon, everybody. My name is William Goldrick, and this is my friend, Mr. Matt Collins, and welcome to another segment.
Episode 2.
Episode 2 of Afternoon at the Movies.
Yeah, we saw it in 1917 today. It's a war story about two soldiers who cross enemy lines to warn 2,000 soldiers about an attack that's going to be a trap. It was directed by
Mr. Sam Mendes, who also directed Revolutionary Road, and it stars Dean Charles Chapman and George McKay.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with some pros on the movie. I thought they went really well with the nihilism of war and the fact that they almost failed. They were on the brink of failure the entire movie. I thought that was really great. There's a lot of beautiful scenes, kind of like in The Call of the Wild. There was a final scene with him running across the battlefield, the cherry blossoms. The final scene was very reminiscent of Gladiator, with him running his hands through the tall grass, wanting to go home. And I know there's a scene you liked, Billy, with the Oh Brother singing.
Yes.
It was very like Oh Brother by the Coen
Absolutely.
Brothers. It was very odd. It was cool.
You know, kudos to all those people, that background people, because without them, that film could not come to fruition. And I didn't see too much stuff that was like CGI, which I didn't want to see. He told the truth. The wardrobes, the costume, and that one scene where they're all in the woods preparing to go into this heinous battle, and the gentleman gets up in front of hundreds of armed soldiers and sings an a cappella song, almost angelic. It just blew me out of the water. I thought it was fantastic, and I thought it really, fortified the film.
Very good film. A lot of good scenes. Billy, is there any cons? Any negative aspects?
Well, I had one I was a little confused. I was talking about being confused with you, and where he's hunting a sniper, and they're in a war-torn area, and it's all rubble, and they're firing shots at each other, and finally he arrives, and both him and the sniper shoot at the same time, and I thought he was shot, and I thought maybe the film had somehow, I don't know how he was going to be able to carry on with a bullet, but he injured his head, and I thought maybe it was a grazed wound by the bullet, but I think he fell down and hit his head, or a star.
What's funny is one of the few negative things I had was a similar scene in the movie. It was advertised as being a long cut. And then when he falls and hits his head or whatever happens, I liked it that it was suspenseful, that you weren't sure if the story's character ended or not. Right. But it was a stoppage. It was almost like a brief intermission in the film.
Right.
And that kind of threw me off because I was expecting one long cut, and I felt like it was kind of like a cheat. The constant action also, I thought, was a little numbing at some point, where you're just worried, you know what I mean? All the time, so, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. There was two really poignant moments in the film where our star comes across a woman and an infant hiding into the bowels of the rubble, and how the woman and the infant are trying to survive because they have no food and things of that. This is what happens during war, and all of a sudden the soldier starts singing a lullaby to the child, which kind of brings him back into a human character, where he reflects back. I'm not a soldier, I'm a part of the human race, and this is how life is born. So he has an epiphany, and I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, I thought that was nice, but it could have broken it up into a little more vignettes and smaller stops. So it went from him getting chased by a bunch of soldiers into that beautiful scene of like him with the baby, where it was just like you couldn't really relax or appreciate it because you thought it was going to get interrupted, or you thought the baby was going to die, like a Vietnam war film, you know what I mean? But there was plenty of great scenes. That one, and including one of the end scenes when he lets the guy's brother know he died, was very, very touching.
Yeah, and also too, you go back to the beginning, and the beginning of the concept of the film. It was about a brother trying to save a brother. Mm-hmm. That's where it all started from. The love, the kinship of man, and it was like, and so he knew that he was on a mission to save all these lives. And
shout out to Corvo and Goldrick's hit song "Brother."
Yeah. I was thinking about that, and everybody's has brothers, even like people like. I consider my friend Matt Collins my brother here, even though we're not blood brothers, we're brothers in life, and that's what it's fantastic. It just kind of brings it back, and how people want to help people,
Yeah, I thought maybe it was one of the best World War stories since maybe HBO's series Band of Brothers.
Definitely.
It was beautifully shot. If I had to give it a score, I'd probably give it like an 8.5. What were you thinking, Billy?
I'm going to go to like a 9.2. I thought it was fantastic. Sam Mendes, movies. The acting was fantastic. Kudos to all my background people. Fantastic costume, wardrobe, everything. I loved it.
All right, well, thanks everyone for tuning in. Thanks to Burger King for not being too loud. And feel free to like and subscribe or let somebody you know, and we'll hopefully be seeing a movie next week for you guys.
Absolutely. You take care now.